The truth occurs. The truth occurs.
Hi everyone. There was another shooting at Virginia Tech yesterday. Two people were killed, a cop and probably the guy who killed the cop. Christian Science Monitor says Virginia Tech shooting, how university helped avoid another massacre. Well, they're patting themselves on the back because only two people died this time. They have an alert system and they're all happy that, you know, they sent out an alert this time after 7 minutes as opposed to 2 hours last time. 2 hours is just insane. I think, you know, it almost seems like it was done deliberately. 7 minutes? That's quite a long time to even send out an alert after somebody just shot a cop. But I guess it's an improvement. But they haven't learned that much, or they would have done something like made it legal for teachers and maybe students to carry guns on campus. See, that would actually be a good solution, because then if a crazy shooter came on the campus, the teachers could just shoot him. That would be a lot better than sitting around waiting for the cops to do the job, because the cops are not actually obliged to protect anyone. They're just sort of there to, you know, investigate. I mean, I know it's hard to believe, but really they're not. Like, if there's a crazy shooter inside somewhere, the cops can just sort of stay outside. They don't have to put themselves in the line of fire. They can just hang around outside and wait until it all plays out. And then they'll come in and they'll draw lines around people's bodies and like collect clues and put up stickers that say, crime scene, do not cross. But they don't actually have to go in and stop the shooter while he's in the middle of doing whatever he's doing. And that's why it's a good idea for people to carry guns on them. So why would somebody just like go on a shooting rampage? This always boggles the mind. This article says Virginia Tech gunman changed clothes after killing police officer. Apparently this guy stole a car at gunpoint and then later randomly shot a cop while that cop was engaged in a traffic stop with a student. Then he had time to go into a greenhouse on the campus and change his clothes, which doesn't mean he had an extra set of clothes on him. They say he removed his jumper and cap. The jumper is a sweater, so he basically just took off his sweater and his hat, and then he was tracked down on the campus, and the police say that they momentarily lost sight of him, and when they caught up to where he had been, they found somebody dead on the ground with a gun next to him, and they're assuming that it's the shooter himself. A lot of times when these things happen, I work backwards from the hypothesis that it's a Manchurian candidate, which might sound weird, but the thing is that this is done a lot. So I'll look at, are there signs that maybe, you know, he was one of these mind control slaves? Because they use them all the time. Although they don't usually have them kill themselves, but it's possible. But in this case, I don't know, maybe more evidence will come out down the road. But like, for example, the Undie bomber, that was classic mind control slave. And if you look at the story, like, he had all this help getting through airport security in Amsterdam. He had no passport, no visa, he didn't go through the naked scanner. Like, there were all these signs that something was very strange, something was going on, plus the fact that people said he was in a trance, stuff like that. Or the guy who beheaded somebody on a bus here in Canada, he was like in a trance, and he was just like a normal guy who just went crazy and cut somebody's head off on a bus. You know, those kind of people, I tend to think that they're like mind control slaves, programmed assassins, you know, Manchurian candidates. Maybe this was another one, or maybe he was just crazy. Maybe he was a meth head. Maybe his logic was all, you know, screwed up, and he just figured he was going to steal a car, and then maybe because he was crazy and delusional, he thought the cops were after him. Maybe when he saw the cop stopping the kid, he thought the cop was trying to get him, and maybe he was just paranoid and he shot the cop. And then he tried to escape, and then he realized that, you know, he was done for, so he killed himself. It could be that simple. Or he could have been another mind control slave. What do you think of the Virginia Tech shooting? Have you found any evidence that something, you know, really strange is going on, like that this was some kind of an operation? Well, let me know in your comments, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time. These people are taken and then they're programmed through hypnosis to carry out a mission, but only once they're triggered. So they could trigger this guy, make sure that he gets onto the plane, you know, and then once he's on the plane, he'll carry out the mission.